Welcome everybody. Yo Zaddy. What's up, yo Zaddy? Uncle Terry's in the house. Guten Morgen to Sagi Nichts from Germany, I would assume. Welcome. Jose's in the house. FTBK, I appreciate you. Thank you. It's always nice to get a compliment here and there among all the criticisms, which are understandable. Nobody's blaming anybody for that. Yeah, man. Get on. It's going to be a wild one and a fun one. What's up, new man? Saying, hey, Dan, visiting California from Tokyo, so we're on the same time zone for once. Amazing. Where in California are you, by the way? Also, you live in... Oh, right, you told me you live in Tokyo. I love Tokyo. Thank you for joining the team, sir. FTBK, deeply appreciated. Became number 15 member on the team. Amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just waiting for a few more moments for everybody to arrive. What's up, Justine? Thank you for the likes, guys. Yeah, Newman, where in California are you? Carmel. What a lovely place, man. Carmel is beautiful. It looks fake in the best possible way. It looks like it shouldn't exist. That's how beautiful it is. Carmel is one of my favorite places. Big Sur in general, but Carmel in particular. That whole area is just magical. What's up, Dragonfly? Hello, hello, Perplexed. Gabriel from X, how are you? I'm pretty. Thank you. This makes me feel good inside. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Simulation Talk 117. Slowly getting up there. What's up, Porsche? Good to see you, brother. Love this weather. I love it too. It's very cozy. I was thinking about our question from last time. Was wondering if you have ever covered one eye while looking at the laser. Sure, all the time. Playing with all kinds of different focal perceptions. Why do you ask specifically about that? Yeah, it's insane to me talking to my dad about metaphysics at the beach. Of course, the laser as well. Amazing. What does your dad think about it? That's interesting. What's up, Synergy Patriot? Joseph and John Day. Wait, are these places? Because I'm not familiar, actually. Do you think religion is a net negative for humanity? Not anymore. I used to think that. Not anymore. Now that I understand this, there's definitely a larger structure. It makes me understand that there was always a need for this attempt to communicate the general scruples of ethics to humanity. And how do you do that when you can't explain the specifics? Well, you focus on what can be done in the moment and what people should focus on and how they should live their lives. By the way, Tor, I see that you're trying to come on. You're more than welcome to. There's a portion of the conversation that I'm bringing people on. If you can just drop a subject in the chat so I know what we're going to be talking about. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. Welcome to Simulation Talk 117. To all the newcomers, if you're not familiar, my channel usually revolves around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. Thank you for joining the team, Nico. As always, love you, brother. I discovered a few years ago that if you project a diffracted laser on a surface, and you ingest a particular molecule that I can't really name here for legal reasons, you will find and see code running behind the laser on the surface. And this observation has now been substantiated. I mean, I've been saying over 1,000 times worldwide, but I'm pretty sure that we've probably crossed the 2,000 line now. I haven't counted every person, but there's a lot of people that are replicating at this point. We meet here every single day. We discuss religion, spirituality, science, and of course the discovery and what it implies and everything else. Am I from Spain? No. I was born in Russia, but I live in the US. And thank you so much for all the likes. Thank you so much for all the people that are sharing the chats. I appreciate you, TikTok. And I can't really see if you guys are doing that on YouTube and X and Twitch, but if you can also give the... Demon Slayer. Thank you so much. Demon Slayer. I read it Demon. I don't know why. Demon Slayer is giving me gifts. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the roses. And if you guys can give a thumbs up and a like to the chat across YouTube and Twitch and X, that would be super helpful. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Nicola Parsons saying it's epic. Thank you so much. Well, okay, so, one thing I do always have to mention in the beginning, it's important, I've also added a members program to my YouTube channel, and it will include personal Zoom calls with me. It will include extra lives, aside from the daily lives that we're doing here, that are only for the members, and also content that doesn't exist anywhere else, including some updates from my personal life and so on and so forth. I'm working, by the way, all the people that already joined as members, I appreciate you. You will see a lot of content coming in very soon. I'm working on all these things and release everything at once, and then there's going to be a constant stream of these things. So I appreciate everybody's patience and the fact that they believe in the project and in me. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's see what we got here. And we'll start going through some of the comments. Joseph is known for art, specifically copper structures. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've never been there. Or maybe I haven't, I just don't know. Thank you for sharing. Men's mental health. All right, Tor. Interesting. Why specific men's? But yeah, I'm totally down. Stay there, and I will bring you on in a bit. Spirituality will take over for good, Demon Slayer is saying. I'm not against that idea. I think ultimately all of these things are just all attempts at describing our connection to this other realm, whatever it might be. So I think you're probably right, but I think organized is also important. And I guess at that point it becomes religions. The Beastness is in the house on YouTube from X. So I appreciate you, brother. Always great to see you. Am I in the mirror? I think it's mirror mode. Is that what you mean? I don't know if TikTok does a mirror thing or not. Yeah, I think it does. There you go. I'm all for high vibration. See what Demon Slayer is saying. There's a lot of claims about Pleiadians and fifth dimensions. Okay. Borch is saying, was wondering what your experience was with covering one eye and how it plays with the perception as the space and darkness will overlay with the open eye. So I think it goes back to what I told you last time, if it was you that I told this to, which is that the observation of the code is different. I think that your question points to me that there's still some perception in you that the code is somehow some kind of an arising property of geometry, of how it sits, or I'm claiming the code is just real, like real, like a comb, like anything else. So your question would be, for me, equivalent to asking what happens to the comb when you close one eye. It's still a comb. You can still see it as a comb. That would be the answer. And I guess I'm excited for you to try and tell me what the differences that you see. But yeah, nothing changes according to the code. You close one eye, looks exactly the same. Can you talk about how the magnet interacts? Thank you for all the likes, guys. We are one, Dragonfly says. And the business also showed up on TikTok. Can you talk about how the magnet interacts with the code, and will this be discussed on feature in the documentary? Definitely. There's gonna be a whole series of experiments that are gonna be running Perplexed that will involve the magnets, and we will be documenting everything. The reason that I locked on the magnet thing is twofold. One of them is that I noticed that the panels in the console react to the magnet. They respond to the magnet. So that was very interesting to me. That means that there's a bridge there. The magnetism somehow plays a role. The other thing is that it seems that the only surface that I've ever seen the code doing anything different on is the surface of a magnet. It looks like it scrambles it, which is interesting. Now, this needs to be tested rigorously. I don't know if it might be because the surface of the magnet has like a certain, bumps on it that makes the light kind of go sideways a little bit. I'm not sure. But something tells me very strongly that magnets are involved. We'll be obviously recording all of that, and then we'll be sharing that. So thank you for the question. Andrew McCaskill is saying, hey man, I recently got my hands on some synthetic. Demetrius, what is the discourse on this variety being used when attempting this process? So as far as I know, great question, Andrew, there is zero difference between what is made in a lab and what is being extracted. It is exactly the same molecule. There's zero difference. So shouldn't be any difference. In fact, as far as I know, the synthetic one is superior because it's guaranteed to be a lot cleaner. There you go. What they use in a lab for the extended state, they're using synthetic. It's just a much purer version of whatever it is. But the molecule looks identical. So you should be great. And I'm glad that you got what you got. Amazing. Okay, so let's like the stream. Yeah, let's like the stream. Thank you, Chavez. Tomorrow I will order the laser in Italy. Amazing. Yeah, you'll let me know. And to all the people that, if you're here, fighting video game with Ram Dass and McKenna would be groovy. The business is saying a fighting video game with Ram Dass and McKenna would be groovy. That would, there's a famous conversation between them in a coffee place in, I think it's the Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's a really fun conversation. If you Google Terence McKenna, Ram Dass, there's really fun conversation there. The waiter comes over and says, "Oh, aren't you the famous mushroom guy?" To Terence, obviously. What area was I born in Russia? In Moscow. 2 Italian scientists mapped images of the universe. The 51 Project is saying 2 Italian scientists mapped images of the universe to a human brain neuron map and found a strong correlation that would add weight to astrology, star position maps in the brain, and birth. That is true. That is true. They found topological relationships between these images, not just that they kind of look alike. So that's exactly correct. I would say that also the holographic principle lends some credence to astrology, because if the stars are points of light equivalent to what the points of light of the laser coming through the sheet would be, if we're equating it to a regular hologram, then the positioning of these points of light would determine exactly what is the nature of the content and how it's projected inside of the space, which would also lend some logic and credence to astrology, actually. The business is asking, which AI have you been using lately, Danny? I'm not. I guess I'm not behind the times, but I'm very slow to adopt like the newest things every time. So ChatGPT mostly, just using that here and there. But I know there's like so many new things, and everybody is super excited about it. Me too. But I guess I'm a little slow when it comes to like the full adoption of these things, even though I'm in full support of them. My dad is a psychologist and physiologist. Physicalist, dude. My brain is like, the dyslexia today is like out of this world. So instead of physicalist, I read physiolist. That's a thing. My dad is a psychologist and a physicalist who have been teaching about philosophy for a while now. He's open to the idea. I'll test the laser soon and report. That would be amazing, Newman. And if you need any advice about specifics, please don't hesitate to email me. Again, it's lasersimulationx@gmail.com. How much was it for the laser? You mean for the ones that we build? They're expensive. They're 153, but because it's, we're not a factory. Like, it takes so much effort for us to gather all these things. Irv, the guy who's making them, is incredible and is innovating all the time. And anyways, that's our reasoning for the price, including also shipments are very expensive. So I always say, if the thing is money, definitely buying what we make is not the way to go. This is why we have the full list of what you can get by yourself and make it on the website above the option of buying it from us, because we don't want money to be the barrier for you trying this. By the way, you also don't even have to purchase it through what we have on the website. You can just copy the specs and then go and source it from anywhere you would like. I can tell you that from Alibaba, you can probably get the cheapest parts. It just takes a little longer, and you have to get it in bulk. But yeah, that's your best option as far as money. If you're buying ours, it's 153, including shipments all over the world. And we're constantly innovating them, making them cool. We just created new, kind of like, we're doing, I guess it's part of the marketing of it. Like, we're shipping really, really cool packages that comes with, like, written with the code, with, like, your name on it. We're doing a lot of cool things to actually kind of sweeten the deal. People feel like they're part of something special, which it is, true. But the truth is that, this is just, if you're already, spending the money, we want to make sure that you also feel you're getting something of value, like extra value, right? And we're working on a version right now that's going to be, you'll be able to switch colors with a dial. We're still figuring out how to do it. And there's going to be a lot of fun things with it, maybe things that come with lenses, all kinds of things. But we're constantly reinvesting and trying to make it so, so things are more fun. All of that being said, if you're trying to save a buck or two right now, definitely don't get the one we make. It's very expensive. So you can just make it yourself. And if anybody has any issues with understanding how to connect the parts that are listed, if you're doing it yourself, you can always email me and I can help you walk you through it. So there you go. And Tor, I didn't forget about you. I'll bring you on in one moment. Just want to make sure that we go over the 30-minute mark and then we'll jump in. Aaron, how are you, brother? I think Tor wanted to talk about men's mental health, which is interesting. Tor is saying, you said you would revisit my question. Will you actually? If not, I get it. Just say, no, I will. I just, I always spend the first 30 minutes kind of at least interacting with people so people can feel that we're answering their questions and then we can dive into a particular subject. So we are now at almost 19 minutes. In about 11 minutes, I'll bring you on. If you're still around, with pleasure. How often do I personally conduct the laser experiment? I haven't done it in a while because I've been really, really, really busy, both traveling, working, doing all kinds of things, and also involved with a lot of the, I guess, public-facing. Sometimes I'm invited to speak about the subject, show people all that good stuff. So I was really busy and on the road. It kind of felt like I was on tour for like a month or so. And I am planning to go into a period of probably 2 or 3 months in which I'm only going to be doing experiments, basically like a full-time job. And so I'm preparing for that because it takes a lot out of you. And I have a whole list of all kinds of experiments that I'm going to be running, and we're going to be filming it for the film, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't understand how my partner literally is so peaceful. What do you mean by that, Dragonfly? Yeah, Tor, no problem at all. Of course. Yeah, no, I will bring you up and with pleasure. Okay, let's see. Greetings and salutations. That is very Knight-like of you. I like it. The 51 Project is saying it was Franco Vazza, astrophysicist, and Albert Felletti, neurosurgeon, who mapped both the brain and the universe and found a match. Thank you. That's actually super useful. There you go. We'll put it right there. Hey, does anyone know the interaction this experiment has with synthetic? I'm amazed at how smooth it is and powerful. I would assume it would amp up the outcome. Cheers. Yeah, no, absolutely, Andrew. So just see, in my opinion, and I know that not many share this opinion with me, but I think when it comes to these relatively simple compounds to synthesize, synthetic is superior, always. Because when you do the natural, you always have some traces of other things. So you can never match the level of purity and like streamline of what you can do in a lab. This is why I'm a big believer that there's just what humans do is part of nature, and this is nature's way of perfecting things. So, for example, 4-ACO, name of the molecule, is much better than mushrooms because there's no body weirdness. It's just very streamlined and everything is more pristine. So yeah, I'm always voting for whatever is synthetic actually when it comes to these things. When it comes to the things that are easy to synthesize. I'm recently, probably you mean 421 Central Iowa is saying, I've recently read an NHI experience between the husband and the wife at the same time. Excuse me. The being was doing healing to their child. The mom saw an angel and light, and the dad saw an alien and technical items. Interesting. That is interesting. So it seems that it shows up to people differently. Yeah, it can. I would say that that's spot on. What happens in you projecting the laser beam at your third eye? I think I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people here. I don't believe in the third eye. Don't believe that's a real thing. What is creativity? Do we actually create, or are we tapping into the field? I would say tapping into the field. My astrology birth chart has been very accurate for a person who has had a very varied life. Yeah, these things can be interesting. Have you ever tried human design or the gene keys and all that stuff? VO is really good for coding websites. Llama is good for building local LLMs. I'm currently building my own speech-to-speech vision coding and more. Chatbot, and honestly, is the future with local AI. Yeah. By the way, what you've done is really impressive. I've watched the video that you've shared of you connecting these 5 AIs. It's incredible. You're doing great work, man. Very impressive. Also, numerology of my birth name. Rabbis will tell you the birth name is God-given. All lends more credence to the math-based simulation that we inhabit. I agree. I'd like to perform the molecule matrix experiment. However, I fear being primed and seeing binary code, just bits of zeros and ones. Well, you're in luck. They're not zeros and ones. So you can tell me what you saw. So what do you think of Terence Howard's theory that all physical phenomena is a unified field of electromagnetic forces? You asking me about Terence Howard in general or about everything he said? In both cases, I would say, there's nothing there. Terence Howard is basically regurgitating electrical universe theory that holds no water, and he doesn't know the first thing he's talking about. That's my opinion of Terence Howard. Okay, we're getting there. 5 more minutes, Thor. Hopefully you're still with me. There you go, you're still with me. Very happy to see that. What is the premise of the laser thing, Daniel's asking? Well, Daniel, a few years ago I discovered that if you project a diffracted laser on any surface and you ingest a molecule that is called the spirit molecule, you will see code running in the surface that you're projecting the laser on, and it's extremely coherent, replicable, and always the same for all individuals, no matter who you are, when you are, how you are. That's the gist of it. Do you have filming locations locked in? No, because we're going to be filming probably all over the world. We're thinking potentially doing some of the maybe more experimentation and things like this in places where it's legal. So just to make sure that we're kind of staying as close as possible to legality. And if you're asking if we're coming to Tennessee, I would love to. So if we have an excuse to go there, we will. What is the Age of Adrian is saying respond to TikTok messages. As I always say, guys, I rarely check these, and I will not start checking them more. I have plenty on my plate, and social media's messages feel very difficult, and also they kind of, it doesn't feel right to check them too often. So if you'd like to get my attention, feel free to email me at lasersimulationx@gmail.com. lasersimulationx@gmail.com, and you will get a response from me relatively quickly. Social media, might not see a message for months. Could third eye just mean the mind's eye? Yes, but I think what people mean by that is something that exists here, or they mean the pineal gland, neither of which I think is the third eye. But yeah, I would call the mind's eye the third eye, sure. But then what does that mean, projecting the laser on the mind's eye? Good, Thor. I'm bringing you on in one moment. You've definitely seen your third eye. Where'd you see it? If this really is a simulation, what do you think is the function of UAPs, UFOs? I don't know. Maybe they're four-dimensional protrusions into our space. I have no idea. Dollywood is number one. Hey, Lindsay. The Zoom is on November 25th, 10 a.m. For members only. This Zoom call is for members only. I'm not sure if you're a member. If you are, awesome. If you're not a member, you can join being a member, and you'll be on the Zoom call. And then please make sure to email me also to let me know that you joined, so I never miss it, and I will immediately send you an invite. The email is lasersimulationx.com. Laser simulation. Wait. You can join either on TikTok or on YouTube, preferably YouTube because it's easier. I'm keeping an eye on that more than anything else. Member of the community on either YouTube or on TikTok. So I've started a members program on YouTube and TikTok, and it's going to be including a lot of extra things that are not available for people that are just part of the community, including these Zoom calls and private lives aside from the daily lives, which I haven't started yet, but it's going to start from next week. Peace on your couch and literally saw it. All right. There we go. What's up, Sam Jewel? Triangle with an eye. Cool. What are the conditions under which you saw it? Let's see. Oh, I need to bring Tor. All right. Give me 1 second, and I'll bring Tor on. All right, Tor, bringing you on. Let's see if there's anything else that is of pressing importance. Oh, Hermes. So if you said that you've tried for quite a bit to see with the laser and the vape pen, you still couldn't see it, especially if you are saying for quite a bit, then there's probably something that you're doing that is not exactly correct. You're either looking only at the surface, which you're supposed to be looking beyond. Have you read the protocol on Code of Reality? codeofreality.com. If you haven't, please read the protocol. And if not, please email me, because it will be easier for me to triangulate and help you understand what is actually there. Lindsay Bloom just joined as a member. Awesome. And please, 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 Lindsay, email me to lasersimulationx@gmail.com, and I will send you a link right away. Good to have you as a member. This information is so very intriguing, mind-boggling. So just so you know that Gnostic knowledge, I can't see hyperlinks, it doesn't share them. So if you want me to see them, please, please, please email it to me. Okay. How are you, Tor?
Oh, shit. Hi.
How are you doing?
Sorry.
You're good?
Sorry, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Good.
So, what did you want to talk about? You said men's mental health.
Yeah, I guess I am struggling with my brothers and my current partner about like how like men who are raised by men that are so like rooted in toxic masculinity, like how to be a good partner to them, I guess, if that makes sense.
Sure. So I guess I would start with eliminating the belief that there's such thing as a toxic masculinity, and just talk about in general what
in what context though, because
in the ultimate context. So what I would talk about is that there's a way in which humans interact, and under that umbrella you have the more specific context of how the sexes interact, right? And then you have the understanding that all humans are born into a particular condition from which through which they're shaped. And because we know that most people, to different degrees, were brought up with traumas, men and women, right? And they have their own versions of the expression of these traumas in their adult life. That, I would say, is both the healthy and the more accurate way of saying what's going on, right? So, for example, if I don't know what you were referring to specifically in the people that you're talking about, but if it's anger issues, if it's manipulative traits, narcissistic behavior, there's a lot of different things that can emerge, right, under which that would fit the criteria of what you just described as toxic masculinity, right? But first thing I would point out, and there's a reason why I'm pointing that out, all of these exist on the female side. It is just that they take a different form, right? And then what's important about emphasizing this is that we find balance. We understand that it opens the window for compassion. And I think that the only thing that we can always do as a partner, either we're a man or a woman, is always look at what we are actually doing that is of the positive flavor of our own version, right? So if for example, I'm noticing something in my partner that I either judge or find negative, obviously the first impulse is like, oh, I don't like it, fill in the blank, and then you have the complaints depending on your state of mind, right? But if I'm in a reflective mood, I will obviously notice that, well, first of all, the reason it doesn't, like, it agitates me in such a way is because I have my own traits that are, so the thing is that if you bring your absolute best version to the table, it just becomes crystal clear about any kind of a mismatch with a partner, right? So if you, because it's almost like an objective counter of what the real value is. I think that ultimately we kind of know what the real value is, and then we pretend that we are worth more when we know we actually didn't do the work. So then we get into it with the other person versus to actually reflect on ourselves and what we can change. But if you have something more specific that you want to bring up, we can address that specifically.
I mean, I think I totally get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying, for sure. I think that it's more like he he's trying to be more, or he's trying to like project to, like he's trying to like pretend like he's more than he is to try to like be better. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. I get what you're
So
saying.
so that, for
I
example,
just
yeah, I'm not. By the way, to be clear,
but I also think that like it's not me like trying to like make him like I think that like what I'm trying to figure out is like how can I be a more supportive partner in terms of like helping him be his best self, like I already know, like I'm not trying to be my best self to like
why
compete with
not?
him, like, and I'm not trying to like make him be his best self. I don't know, like I don't know if that makes sense, but like I'm trying to.
So do you
I
feel
know
that
he's
if you bring your
struggling, and
best
I know
self, it will somehow take something away from you? Like you wasted the best version of yourself for somebody who you feel
no,
it, or what do you mean?
no.
Okay.
I just like I'm trying to.
Take your time. Don't like take a moment and think about it. We have time.
I think I just like acknowledge the fact that like we're both humans who are struggling,
Right.
and I am like trying to figure out like what parts of me he needs to be a better version of himself without giving too much of myself, I guess.
Yeah, so you're protecting your own self because you feel like there's a limited amount of energy, love.
No,
No?
no. I mean, yes, in a way, but I think that like in a good partnership, you shouldn't give your entire self, like you shouldn't sacrifice your entire self to help your partner be their better self. Like I think that like you should be partners,
Right.
you know?
Okay.
You know? Does that
Sure.
make sense?
No, I agree with that. But what is what I don't understand, what is the, so okay, let me for
I think I'm struggling with figuring out what parts of myself I need to give to him and whether or not those are reasonable parts, I
I would
guess.
say that you should never aim towards what you should give him specifically, but what you should do in order to become a better person in general. So it will be a more universal aim versus just for this particular situation. So
Yeah.
if right, so you basically want to aim towards a version of yourself that would be great, even if, let's say, it doesn't work out with that person. So that way you get to take that version to the next relationship. Now,
Yeah.
you're not acting out of a place of like, well, you thinking about this actively where you're like, well, like you feel like you're superior because you're working on this better version of yourself. You're trying to do your
Yeah.
best to be in any given situation with another human. And obviously it's emphasized when you're with somebody who you are with romantically, right? But ultimately you always want to aim towards the most universal thing. So if you know that you have some things that you struggle in yourself, these are the things I would focus on, because you get to keep those no matter what. So the gain is ultimate,
Yes.
right? And then if and by the way, after a little while, there's always a line, right? So there's like you can put out as much of so the only thing we can do in order to help somebody else change, that I think that's actually applying across the board, is
I
to,
agree. I agree.
well, yeah, I didn't say it yet. So the
Well, I
only
mean,
thing.
what you, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that too,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
but no, but I want to say something a little. In addition to that, what I want to say is the only thing
Okay.
that I think we can ever do for somebody to help them change is to view them in that most positive light in a real way, and that's actually very difficult to do. So it's almost like you paint a picture for them, you imply what you can see right now in them, without telling them. It's kind of difficult because that part has to be done without any judgment and with a truly open heart, and just like truly just like, here, I'm offering this image that I want to see in you right now. And then sometimes that person will step into that image, and that's how you're helping them to do that, because you're reflecting something that they see as a real possibility now, so they have an incentive to step into it. But if it's always like, oh, you're doing this wrong or that wrong, well, it is the opposite of that, right? So it's like, so this is easier to illustrate, for example, with when we're talking about children. So with a child, it's when they do certain things that are mischievous, there's a lot of different ways in which we can address them. I think that one of the most effective ones is to create this positive image that you genuinely putting forth as an option for them. So for example, if they, let's take something, a little bit more extreme, because it's kind of like already tethering on problematic behavior into later ages. But let's say they stole something, okay? So a child stole something, let's say from your purse. Okay, they walk in, berating them. Okay, it's one way to do things, right? And it can either be effective or not effective, depending on many, many, many variables, including the exact nature of the child, how often it happens. There's a lot of different things. But I think one thing that can be most effective for a long arc behavioral change is if you offer them an image they didn't consider. So you don't even go into this whole like, you can tell me it's okay. You basically say, you make up a scenario. You're like, hey, like, even though you know they took the money, you'd be like, hey, would you go grab something, this amount of money from my purse, and I want you to go get this, this, and this, and this, and I want you to keep $20. So now you showing them complete trust, so you can potentially retroactively cancel the fact that they already stepped over a line, and they'll be like, wait a second, they're offering me money. Like, actually, if they don't know I stole it yet. Maybe if I don't do that ever again, I might get this opportunity more often. So you're basically creating a situation for them to step into that is very positive, right? And this, we can do this in many different ways. So for example, usually when people, you're saying like they're pretending to be something more than they are. Well, first of all, that's a judgment call on your part. I'm not saying that it's wrong. You might be right, right? But it's a judgment call you're making. So now sometimes when somebody, well, I would say most of the time, when somebody's pretending to be more than they are, this self aggrandizing is because somebody feels not enough, right? So they want to be more than they are at the moment. They don't know how, so they would say things or do things to pretend to be more, right? Because they want to matter. They want to matter on a certain level that they feel they're not. So if you can maybe help with that part, answer that need, you giving them the option, this is the only way you can truly help them to rise to the challenge of actually being that. So like, unrelated to whatever it was in a different situation, so they will not make the connection. You can say things that would imply that kind of greatness that they want to see in themselves. And if they keep just aggrandizing themselves, despite the fact that you're trying to help in this way, it's not even, you're not giving something that is being taken away and now you have less. You have infinite amount of this ability to give. So don't worry about that. So you can do this a certain amount of time, and if it doesn't work after a certain amount of time, well, that's a judgment call you get to make. You're like, well, that person doesn't want to change at this point of their lives. I want to be with somebody who's more in this way and that way and that way. You have every right to say, I'm sorry, this doesn't work out. but you know that you
That,
truly, you know what I mean?
yeah. No, I do, and I agree with everything you're saying. I think my struggle comes from the fact that like I feel like I feel like he has
So
I feel
sorry,
like
one
he's
second. I don't mean to cut you off.
gone.
1 second. Hey, President Zaddy, you're part of my regular community. Um, brother, I appreciate you being here, but there's a certain caliber and a certain level of class that we keep here. So because you are somebody who's doing here on a regular basis, I'm just gonna ask you nicely. Please don't use this language here. I appreciate you.
Oh, sorry.
No, 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 not you, not you. I'm talking to
Did
somebody
I
on YouTube.
entice? Did
No,
I
no, 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 no,
entice?
no, no. Not that you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing to do with you. I'm just talking to somebody on YouTube. All right, brother? I'm asking you nicely. Thank you. All right, go ahead. I'm with you. Tori, you
Sorry,
there?
what was that?
Oh, no, no, go ahead. Keep going.
I was just saying that like I feel like I wish that like I feel like he has gone through a certain level of struggle that like people don't understand, and he just needs empathy for like that level of struggle, and he is not ever going to be able to heal unless somebody like recognizes that level of struggle. I guess I don't know. That probably
So
sounds stupid.
listen. I'm not gonna pretend that this is. And by the way, Matthew, I saw your comment, brother. I'll. This is. Let us get to some fruition in this, and then I'll bring you on for a bit. I love talking to you, brother. I'll bring you on in a bit. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
no. I'm talking. Tor, don't. This is something that is very important. Listen, we. This what you asked is super important because even though we usually talk about the simulation hypothesis and all that stuff, I think human relationships is an important thing, and if we can point out something that I think is universal, it can be useful. So don't feel you're wasting anybody's time. This is an important subject. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like what you're asking is like some kind of a. It's very easy to like give advice, right? It's super easy to just like, oh yeah, this and this. When you
Yeah,
actually have to
yeah.
walk the walk, yeah, it's hard. It's not easy, but I
It's
can tell
more
you
of
it's
like
doable. It's doable, and it's just a matter of remembering that all the biggest ruts that seem to us in life, ultimately they're just little puddles. They're not the ocean. They really aren't. And in retrospect, it's always easier to see that. After you leave a relationship, you go to another relationship, and you're like, oh my God, that was
yeah,
nonsense, right? But in the moment, it feels huge.
yeah.
So the truth is that
I appreciate you for saying that. Thank you.
yeah, no, it's listen, I got to my understandings by making all the wrong turns. So I've learned,
I'm sorry to
but
hear
by
that. I'm
nothing but
sorry to hear
pain.
that, but I
Yeah,
appreciate. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So but now I know better. So the truth is that it really has to do with the self value part. Because that's what I meant in the beginning. Maybe it was a little obscure when I said it in the beginning.
No,
But,
I
sorry.
get. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's like the second that you know what you're worth really, then it's see when somebody really know what they're worth, they never go into the whole oh I'm better than like that attitude never arises, right? It's just kind of like oh I see, okay, and then you can make decisions quietly. So
but
you know what I mean?
but I but I but I do know what I'm worth. But I still have empathy for his struggle. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not saying you're not. I'm not implying you don't. I'm saying there's always a degree to that. Is what I'm saying. So I want to clarify. So we all have the self-worth level of which we're aware of, right? And some people are not aware of it at all, and some people are aware of it a little bit, and some more, and some more, and some more. The degree to which we're aware, it's easy. It's directly correlated to how easy it is to make decisions straightforwardly. So because where the gray area happens is where it's hard to make a decision. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of how long you're willing to participate in whatever it is. The ultimate relationship is one in which both partners, and it makes no difference if they're both males, both females, male, it makes no difference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Whomever they are,
Yeah.
both partners are completely self-sustained, like both
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
financially, mentally, spiritually, all of it, and then they walk
100%.
alongside each other.
Yeah.
That is the perfect relationship because there's no
Yeah.
leaning,
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
pulling, there's no. It's very comfortable. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that being said, not everybody gets that lucky,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
right. And sometimes we grow through the relationship together. So I think the
Yeah.
most universal advice I can give is what I said, which is just you go through the moves, you work on the parts of yourself, not on him,
Yeah.
of whatever will
Yeah.
stay with you no matter
Yep.
what, right?
Yep.
And then beyond that, at a certain point, if there's a breaking point, hey, right?
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
not, cool. Maybe, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the best I can do there.
No, I appreciate that. I actually appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I feel like
Why are you sorry?
I don't know. I feel like I was a bad partner on this call. I don't know.
No, you did great, and you brought very important subjects to our attention. So I appreciate that. Feel free.
It's a tough one, dude. It's a
Oh
tough
yeah.
one, right?
Yep. And don't. I'm bringing Matthew on as well. Don't feel the need to hop off. You can absolutely stay. See you.
Thanks. I'm probably gonna hop off and call
Sure.
it a night. But hey, I appreciate you, man.
I
I wish
appreciate you
nothing but
too.
the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, trying to add Matthew, but it's not really working. Well, until he comes on, we'll just keep going basically. Be firm. Somebody said be firm. That can be interpreted in so many different ways. Awesome.
Dude, that can be interpreted in so many different ways, dude. I've been trying to be firm. I've been trying. I feel like a lot of the people that are commenting think I haven't been trying. I've been trying.
Oh, no. I'm sure you have. And by the way, this is not. I think that just to be clear, I mean, obviously, I don't know you, right? So the only
Yeah.
thing I can do that will be of value to people is trying to bring up the most general things that can apply to the most situations. I don't know the exact details. Who knows? Maybe you're one of these people that are like, you tried to help somebody out for like 10 years and it's like you're still trying. But at a certain point, you gotta call a spade a spade. At a certain point, you gotta say, okay, it's not a matter of good or bad. It's just I don't have any more effort to give here. Maybe it is the case, maybe it isn't. But yeah.
You gave the most fucking. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. Sorry.
You're allowed to swear.
you gave the most like genuine advice without knowing like the details, like the hardcore details. No, I appreciate you. You're good.
Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I appreciate you. When I say I appreciate you, I mean it. Thank you.
I feel it. Thank you. Okay, let's see what we got. What else we got? You can do much more than I will. People.
No,
Thank you, Sam
stop.
Jewel.
The comments are making me cry.
I feel like Sam has a lot of sympathy for you
Yeah,
there.
what is Sam's deal? Why does Sam have so many opinions?
People have opinions. It's part of being a human. That's okay. I look exactly like Neo with long hair. Really? I don't know. I don't see that.
You kind of look like Jesus.
Like Jesus? Yeah, I get that sometimes. I get Messi and Jesus, and sometimes what's his name? Oh, I guess yeah. Because people say what's his face?
Ew.
What's the movie that Keanu did with his dogs and?
Keanu Reeves.
No. What was the movie where he avenges his dogs? What was the name of it?
I have no idea, to be honest. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
John Wick. There you go. That's what it was. So I get. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't miss it. How you doing, brother?
Assalamu alaikum, Danny. Can you hear me?
I'm good. Shalom.
Shalom. I was actually just watching some Rabbi Joviah Singer, brother.
Awesome.
I'm trying to find. I hope my phone doesn't die. How are you, Danny?
I'm doing amazing, brother. How are you doing?
You were streaming way too late, man. Where were you?
I was streaming at like 3 and 4 a.m. sometimes because I was on the road.
Somewhere else other than California?
No, I was just shooting a film and shooting an event in Vegas and traveling, so it was just nonstop, and the days just wouldn't end. So by the time I get home and all of that, yeah, it takes some time to relax, to unwind, to shower, and then jump on a live. But yeah, back to normal hours. Hopefully for a while.
Mashallah. Well, I wanted to come up and kind of talk about the email I sent, but I actually had to drop off because that heartbreaking story uh, with the girl was a lady before you
Yeah,
or before me. While I agree with everything you said, I think there was one thing left unaddressed.
which is
Like, basically, you know, with this idea, I want to set the context first, right?
of what?
So I think context, it counts and it's important to set limits first for human communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can end up talking forever
Who?
or until you die or run out of breath, right? So there's these weird communication things that there might be a weird glitch or let's say the intellect would want to keep going and keep talking. Like Danny literally interrupts me right now. And this is the idea of communities and this is the context and stop. So I don't die.
Okay.
Weird, right?
Okay. Well, I don't know what you're connecting it to. I don't quite.
So, I agree with you, Danny, that we live in a simulation. And that's why I wanted to put a wrapper on my paper. But, what you discussed with that previous lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a narration between you two, right?
What
It's
is?
a belief from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wasn't here and listened to a part and dropped off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I only heard part of the narration
All right.
between you two.
Okay.
There must be some sort of duality, right? Here. Like an infinite duality between the individual self as an idea or a hypothetical link. Think of it like the internet between the IUCs at the it's like sort of the fabric underneath. To
Yep.
begin with, like there's some separation in space and time. I get it, right? I'm gonna try to build it back up. But if we're talking to each other and we're both sentient, like individuated units of consciousness, right? We got to start from there, and we could, I think the discussion, that you two were having, like I would have approached it in a different way, to be honest.
Okay.
There are several discussions to be had, but I think jumping to narcissistic behavior traits in private so I think the next discussion about how to become better as a person and then relate that to the simulation relates to something we talked about before on the channel, which was like my theory of the universe paper, right? The parsimonious universe theory. So basically, the universe gives you nothing out there, the infinite one. It gives you nothing back if you're talking with someone else. It doesn't give you your last breath. So if we're in a simulation, like was there any instruction given to me that would make me want to continue going out into public, giving me, what is the will? Where does will emanate from? These sorts of questions, when married with the simulation concept, and sort of the ideas of what being even is. Like, where do you take ideas
Bro, I'm
from?
gonna stop you real
Like,
quick because you
what
no,
defines
bro.
it?
I'm gonna stop you, Matthew. I have to stop you,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah,
You're a
I'm
little
trying
bit,
to
you're a
build
little
an
bit, you're a
idea
little
in your
bit,
head.
you're a little bit all over the place. So you started talking about with the
Well,
girl.
I'm trying to build up an idea. I'm trying to build up an idea from scratch. If we're communicating with each other and we're judging each other by our narcissistic behaviors, right? I think we need to talk about, yes, this is a simulation. What type of a simulation is it, right? Whoever created that simulation, did he give us any guidance to handle these matters that you guys previously dealt with? Because in the last couple of weeks, as I went through and talked about Islam and met out in the community, I met several women. I've been doing counseling with couples.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Muslim myself.
Okay.
It has magical healing powers to like unionize the man-woman relationship in private locations. But a bonus it has is how to create a peaceful public domain, so to speak, in the context of the simulation, right?
Okay.
And so I think the sort of overall answer to the last viewer is like there is an instruction manual for the simulation that provides you a full and complete objective and moral, ethical, and belief system that you wouldn't be able to craft yourself before you die, right? If you pick and choose from all the belief systems, right? And you try to craft one with no, let's say, if you went out into public, wouldn't result in hypocritical behaviors, beliefs. So there's weird duality, right? It always boils down to this private versus public, because you and a partner or by yourself forever could sit there and talk in private. But we want to create larger communities. We want to spread. We go to, humanity grows, nations grow. We go to other planets. There's an infinite universe out there. There's this weird sort of positive negative duality, isn't there, Danny, in this simulation? Isn't that right?
The point is that the whole world is computational, so it's not like there's a mimicking. The simulation is not a mimicking of something. It's another layer.
Well, the previous conversation, I think, is related to this question. Did this, whoever created the simulation, right? Did he send an instruction manual or not? And did I read it or not? And can I prove it or not?
What if
Like,
it's a completely open-ended simulation in which they just want to see what happens?
But he did send an instruction manual.
Who is they?
And the Muslims can prove it, bro.
Let me ask you something. Are they according to Islam? Hold on. According to Islam, is Allah an insect?
Of course not.
No. But what if I tell you that insects are actually the ones that created our layer of reality? What do you do then?
I would have to see it from another sentient being that could prove it was created myself to care about that question on this call.
Well, it sounds like the thing that you're pressing is the thing that you've experienced yourself, right?
Well, no, I just think that it's very interesting, right? Let's back up a second and get to the simulation before we get to a way of being in private or public or on the internet or on a stream or, again, how as a computer programmer and an information scientist, right? Like, being a Muslim is my selected way of being. There are actually many ways of being in the Islamic tradition, and it's been more misportrayed in many domains, like on the Wild Wild West web, or hidden in weird belief traps. I would say, I'll leave it there as a rabbit hole, right? Inside the English language itself, there may be weird things, Danny. And back to the email about the lasers and what's in reality and the layer under, finding the console, like there's very weird things going on, right? In that journey, like one should question one's belief system, right? What matters is in private and how we want to build out and grow and build relationships in public.
Right.
That's the boiled down duality that's faced by each of us, isn't it? How we are in private or in public. Basically, that's the duality, right? Faced by any sentient being. That's how general the statement is. Do you understand?
I don't see why that's the duality. Duality is everything that exists, as far as I can tell.
What is the most fundamental duality of the human situation?
The fact that there's a difference between you and the rest of the world.
Well, I can act all I want. Like, for example, if I hang up now and never talk to another human again, ever until I die.
Sure.
Disappear. Right?
You will still be in relationship to the world. It's still duality.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the most, because I would want you to have the will to go out and meet more people, right? And then the duality of man-woman exists so that in private, a man doesn't go insane, right? And then it gets to this, what this woman's talking about, and you guys are talking about, like, manipulation traits, okay? Now, I'm not sure if anyone on the call is familiar, but at this point, I would offer dawah. At this point, like, so in private space, we're already folding that this is a simulation, right? We're assuming that now, going forward.
What are we assuming? Wait, what are we assuming? What are we assuming again?
Before we move forward. I think it's safe for me to assume it's a simulation in anything I say going forward. Is that okay?
Yeah, but the question is, the important thing is what that means.
Well, yeah, but I think you can use Occam's razor to not go insane as well.
Do you feel that you're going insane?
You could if you choose the wrong duality
Oh yeah.
to mess around with inside your mind. You might start like a mind virus.
You might stop a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, that's why I got up here quick so I could talk to you back and forth.
Sure.
Because interestingly, I was just with a woman who was having the same problems as what you guys were talking about. After talking to her for like 6 hours, you can hear my voice basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like triggered something in my mind with this infinite things and get into this duality razor thing, infinite loop. And so I was like, I gotta get on here and talk to Danny, right? It's
All
weird.
right.
Just about this thing. So there's a simulation. So I'm gonna pass it back to you, Danny.
Sure.
Like I just want to frame up sort of that parsimonious universe theory paper that I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
2-part thing here. We could finish this conversation, which would be kind of cool. The second part would be to update on the 3D laser diffraction thingamajig, codename thingamajig. So that's why I'm up here. I would be happy to give you the dawa at this point privately, but unless you want to do this on stream, this next part could take a while. It could go fast. But look, I believe the Quran is straight from the creator of the simulation, right? And we just agreed on one of what I believe is the most fundamental aspects of the simulation, right? And so written words, and there are some very interesting things about the Quran. But I just walked through this ayah or a sentence in the Quran earlier with the woman I just discussed. And that same ayah that helped like basically unlock her heart in this now assuming simulation that we're all wondering, did we get an instruction manual or not? Should be the running assumed question, right? Like, where do we get guidance to want to do anything anyway? Like, why wouldn't you? And there's a loop here, right? Why wouldn't you sit on your couch and do anything? What is the reason to do anything anyway? Why do we even meet each other? Why do we yearn for connection, right? That would take something that created both the man and the woman, because I'm sure men and women don't think this idea of feelings, right? So men, women may or may not think, feel, act differently based on a wide range of what I believe to be misuse, corruption, maybe you got the right one, bit of this, management of one's own belief system, right? And every individual sentient being, if they don't have control of anything else, seriously, you have control of your belief system that you own. And Dan, your point's right. That public space outside of private could be a reflection of how deep you're willing to dig for that truth. Danny may have found sort of the fabric of it underneath. I sort of think the Japanese character that you found is interesting. There are too many links to some Japanese 90s video games that give me too many paranoid thoughts that go into, let's say, little mind virus ghosts that I chase off. Maybe I'll come back to later. Daniel, I'll send you an email about this. I'm coding a video game. I'm calling it Everbound. That's the cliffhanger. It's the only video game that will ever bound humanity, past, present, and future. I guarantee it, because I am an information scientist, Danny.
Do you
That's
love?
what it took. It's a duality. There's an ayah in the Quran that talks about the one true creator of the simulation created everything with duality.
Matthew,
Like,
do you
and I
love?
believe that's the most fundamental.
So
truth,
before you go
along
to
with
hold
the
on, before you go.
overwhelming evidence that the Quran's from God, but the Dawah would continue for here for a long time.
Okay, before you go, hold on.
Instruction manual on how to behave indoors and out in public.
Sure.
You would help this girl. It starts the next conversation.
Got it.
And then we peel the hood back.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, So before I go to duality, what do you love you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Do you feel that that's enough if you're
Oh,
alone in a cave
absolutely.
forever?
Can you hear me, Danny? Something mess up. Danny, are you there? Absolutely. Oh, Danny. Oh, absolutely. Forever. Can you hear me, Danny?
So I'm gonna have to mute you because it's getting a little crazy. Um, so first of all, feel free to email me whatever it is that you wanted to email me. But yeah, I hope he's okay. I feel like he's going through something very serious right now. Yeah, trying to decide what to do with this. So, oh, he's back. Can you hear me?
Danny.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, Danny.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. So, hear me out for a second.
I just think you can overload I don't think technology can even handle like heavy consciousness interaction, right?
I'm not so sure. So,
I don't know. It was funny when it cut out. I think you were about to start. I'm not sure where I left, but I think I'll leave the floor with you. I think you were asking about love. I absolutely love myself. I'm very happy. We say Alhamdulillah, right?
would you
That
say that's
creator of the
enough?
simulation we certainly live in, according to Nick Bostrom's argument that I must import into my theory of the universe because I can't find a better one. Right? That's the parsimonious universe paper where if I'm sitting inside alone forever by myself, I'll curse that stingy universe out there in public. Right?
Would you say
there's no English statement that would be able to make my point to that one simulation, the one true creator of the public domain and the rapper, the dominion holder himself. If he came to my camper out here, knocked on the door and came in and said he was himself, I'd shake his hand. Right? I believe in a higher power. I love myself. That keeps me going. He said an instruction manual that not enough people are reading. Right? If you go deep, go past the layer. Islam has so many layers. It's an onion that goes on forever.
right?
Don't give up on the surface and let's say the propaganda in the public domains. That's my recommendation.
Okay. All right. So, do you feel? Thank you so much for the gifts, Amanda loves Amanda. Do you feel that love? Do you feel that? Hold on, Matthew, brother.
So if you're gonna try to take a moral argument,
No, I'm not. Let me speak, brother. You spoke for quite some time.
Go ahead. Off to you, bud.
All right.
I love this stuff. You know how macho I
Yeah. It's all good. We're good. We're gravy, baby.
Right? But
It's all good.
I think the point that needs to
So-
be acknowledged before I hear some moral positioning.
No, I understand. I'm not trying to make a.
Because I can say one thing here on private,
Sure.
and then there's public. That's it, right?
But do you feel
We need
that?
guidance about the public, like a separate idea,
Uh-huh.
right? Between any two sentient beings needs a third party out there somewhere else in public to make the math probably work. I don't know. I'm not a scientist or not so information scientist. Right?
Okay.
But there needs to be a higher order of intelligence, rapper class, right?
Okay.
The one true God, quote unquote, of this simulation that we should care about. Can I say one thing about Sam Harris on this stream, or am I going to get us canceled?
No, I love Sam Harris. What's the problem with Sam Harris?
Oh, you love him? But he must have a trouble with literals.
With what? With what?
Hang on. Liberals or literals?
I don't know what you're saying.
So, hang on. I'm going to take a breath for a second.
Sure.
This gets me. So, you know who Sam Harris is, right? Can you intro the screen to Sam Harris before I tell something that I'm still scratching my head about?
Sure. Are you there, Matthew?
Just gonna get a drink of water.
All right. So while you're getting a drink of water, so brother, I don't know. It sounds like you're going through
How
something.
would you describe to your stream? In my view, I believe, like, by the way, belief is important about how you manifest that public domain when you go out there, don't you think?
I do think, I'm still, Matthew. I listen, brother. I'm trying to ask you nicely, but like if you're gonna keep talking over me, I'm not gonna have a choice but to mute you so I can speak.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my question to you, I'm gonna go back to what I said about love. If you said you love yourself, right? Would you say that that love is enough if you're alone in a cave forever?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in that case, the duality is a state that you can occupy, but you don't have to be a slave to. You can always interact with people while at the same time having that love for yourself. And if you do that, I would say that no belief system, higher guidance, or anything else matters. This is why, if you ask me, I occupy a much more Buddhistic approach.
No, but then doesn't that open the door for manipulation? Because
No.
there's no objective.
No. Because
objective common ground.
Because
That's
at
the
that
problem.
point, because if you truly exert that kind of love, at that point it doesn't really matter to you what the outcome of things is, because you're already good exactly where you are.
Here's the problem.
Yeah,
I believe. Okay, I see where you're coming from, bro.
yeah.
Like, do you believe in free will?
No.
Okay, we agree there. Let's start with some common ground before we. I want to reach a few, just right. Let's check a few boxes.
Sure.
First, right. I always like taking 3 steps back.
But don't get us all the way to the beginning of the universe.
But hang on, there's a duality here. How much free will should we assume we have in, let's say, by myself in a cave forever?
In a what? In
Do
a
you
what?
think you have-
By yourself in a what?
Okay, there's another duality so it always spins into a duality, right?
Well, you can't have symbolism without a duality, so you can't have reality without a duality.
No,
Right.
I get that.
Okay.
Right? But when you end up chasing these weird sort of, I would call them and put them in a class that we have as individuals by ourselves in a cave forever, right? Which is somewhat of an intellect plus the soul plus a will to just want to keep trying to figure it out like a program that'll kickstart itself if it runs out of something to think about forever.
What difference does it make to you if you're already good inside? What happens with the rest of the world? That's my question.
Well, I'm just trying to back up and like add on the layers of the onion because of your discovery so profound, right? But it looks like there is a stable space and time, a passage of time that's obvious, right? And it's in 2 domains, private and public spaces, and those public spaces are dynamic. Outside of so then what is the higher rapper? Like, that's where it's like if a bear shits in the woods, did it actually shit in the woods? I don't know. What's a shit like? So are there different types of intelligence? What is an individuated? Does someone have to see the bear shit in the woods, and then tomorrow I go out there and see the shit? Did it so? This whole sort of right, the double slit experiment, this observer problem, is this solved in this? Like, how do you arrive at a conclusion without guidance? Because that's so confusing.
So I think I understand. So I think if I understand you what you're asking correctly, the way that I see it from a technical standpoint so far is that you have the source, you have the light that coming from the source. It's going through a particular fabric, which I think is space-time, through what the stars are, and it actually projects us inward. So basically the holographic principle. And what I think is what our consciousness is the reference light. If you know what in a hologram you have the source light and you have the reference light. I think what consciousness is the reference light. It's the light that is coming from the side that is seeing the source light, and basically when the source light bounces off whatever objects there are, the reference light is what gives it the reality that it has. So that's what we are. We give what the content its reality. But even though it exists on some fundamental level, we are the thing that actually sees it, not just for what it is, but we make it what it is. And then from that point on, This is why all the hold on. This is why all the religious systems, of which Islam is one, are important frames that help the reference slide to navigate in a particular way, so the world that it gives rise to as deciding what it is not one that devolves into a hell, and it basically rises all the way up back to the source and becomes a heaven on
I
earth.
think we should back up, right? Because now we're in human behavior in public.
I don't understand.
Right?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Stop and be an asshole, right? In public.
Okay.
I chose to interrupt you, or be nice, or wait, right?
Sure.
There are all these different choices that we make.
Right.
Why do we make them? Why do we do them the way we do?
For many reasons, many different reasons.
That we hold to be true, the facts that we hold to be true in our belief system.
The values, yes.
If I believe that it's important for me to cut you off, at certain points, I could interrupt a communication like this in public.
The bottom line is that it has to do with your values, and we have some people joining as well.
But I'd like to take a quantum leap up with you.
Sure.
I have a visualization. I'm gonna try to.
Live now?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to provide a visualization to you. I'll take a what's it called? An action item.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to draw a picture for the visual I have and just had right before the stream. And I'll try to send it to you if it's better. But I think the picture's actually on the internet. Like, if you would sit down in a chair, I guess you can look straight ahead. I understand what you're saying, Danny, but let's start in private. If I'm sitting in a cave, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the light, the picture's like a vortex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen this? Like, so if it's a layer on what you're talking about, the holographic film,
Mm-hmm.
that the light of our consciousness is beaming through out to the nearest barrier, which closes a private domain. Right?
Which I think is this. Which I think is this.
Just like this.
No, I think it's space time. So I think it's a very technical thing. Now it might have a fractal in our psychology.
2D land. Like, you got to step it up to get to higher dimensions, because I think some of the jumping too far ahead, right? We got to unfold this differently now, Danny, since your equation. I mean, you made me take way too many steps back. Way too many.
You're taking the step. You're making the decisions of your stepping back, brother. I'm not making you do anything.
No, because your discovery was so interesting to me, and some of the notes and ponderings that I have about our conversations and the email exchanges that we've been having, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things get just way more interesting. I've been writing a lot. We've been exchanging notes, right? So I don't know where this goes from here, but I know this started with the lady who was talking about narcissistic manipulative behavior, right? So I think that.
So I think I'm not sure that you understood. Hold on, I don't know if you're basing it on what she was saying, but that's not what she was saying.
I only heard part of it, and that was part of my point. Oh, yes.
Matthew, can you listen to somebody for a second?
Well, hold on. Can you? But the music is super loud. Can you lower the music?
Yeah, sure. Certainly, I would love to.
Hey, Matthew.
Yes.
I'm just an older lady from Oklahoma, but I've seen things and I've experienced things, and I want to tell you something.
Can you lower the music?
Oh, is that my music?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's playing also on your phone somewhere or on your computer.
I don't know how to do that. Listen, this is the first time I've ever been live.
Sure. No worries. All right. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how to...
Wait, is this Evil Morty? This is scared.
Is the background music for our debate or what?
Sorry, I don't know.
I'm waiting. I'm listening.
I
to
don't
this
even
beautiful
know where the
musician,
music is
and I
coming
listen.
from.
Yes, and she interrupts a live stream being recorded. Danny, why don't you boot her and ban?
This is amazing. No, hold on, Matthew.
What I tell you is that
Go ahead.
2 years ago, I had an experience out here. I saw lights coming from my bedroom. I even went out to my
Bro, the
Jeep.
piano's killing me.
I don't know how to kill it. Hang on.
This is amazing.
I'll try.
No, keep going. You're talking. We're not even out. Can you wait until we get to public? Me and Danny are only on private domain.
How are you pretending like you
I'm
don't
an
know if
information
there's piano
scientist, all
music
right?
coming out
And
of
you're
here?
fucking
This is
on my
amazing.
domain.
This
Listen,
cat.
I'm 50 years old and I'm
No,
just
you're playing
now
that
trying
music on some
to-
shit. You're playing it on something. Come on
This is too
now.
funny. Danny, sorry, you can bleep that
Are
out
you
into
serious?
everybody, right? This is
I don't know
too
how to
good.
do
I'm
this.
sorry.
No.
I'm an
It's
information
like the
scientist.
pacing of your story
And you
is
make
like
me
on
need the
point with the
shit
music. It's
Jump
like
to the
perfect.
slam.
What the heck?
Look at you, the name.
I
Look
don't
at
know
you,
how
the
to.
name.
Oh my god, I don't know how to stop it.
But the way you told the story was on pace with the music, like perfectly and everything. I mean, like,
This is amazing.
Listen,
you practiced that in the mirror like
no,
four,
I
four
did
times.
not.
Yes,
Stop.
you
I'm 50
did.
years. No, I did not. I'm 50 years old and I have no fucking clue what the fuck I'm doing. I'm sitting out here drinking in my home
This
that's
is-
getting filled. I've got half my walls up and I have no fucking clue what I'm doing except for enjoying watching TikTok.
And the Phantom of the Opera is just playing like piano in the corner.
Apparently, that's what the universe wanted to happen.
I believe that. I believe that 100%.
Hey, and I'm a believer. Hey, I was raised Church of Christ, and then I went
I'm in a Church of Christ.
and then I went Assembly of God. I raised my kids Assembly of God, and now I believe in crystals and all kinds of other stuff. But the shit that happened out here at my home 2 years ago, and I have video of it. I seen a UFO, whatever you want to call it. It came, and I got video of it. And not just that, I got video of a Bigfoot walking into it.
This is Roberto. Hey there. Roberto is an over-the-road trucker who takes his business very seriously. Sure do. Roberto traded up to...
This is amazing. I think this is the best live we've had so far.
Okay, so Danny.
Yeah.
I like your
It
perspective,
was
Danny.
Roberto.
This is a serious guy.
I'd like to ask a question to Danny if in a minute, unless if I'm jumping in too quick, you let me know.
But I know all about the lights and Bigfoot and all that stuff, and people want to laugh at it. That's fine, laugh at
This is
it. But I
amazing.
have the proof of it. I have 2 years worth of video, photos, everything of it. And now the government wants to come out and say, yeah, they're living in our oceans. Yeah, no shit. They've been coming out here and visiting me for 2 years. And I have videos for 2 years of them coming out here.
Okay.
Not just on my recordings of my surveillance cameras, but on my phone. And I haven't told anybody
Yes.
because
Sorry, an
they will
alien
think that I'm
abducted me.
crazy.
An alien abducted me, miss, ma'am, you won't believe it. I didn't have a recording or device or anything.
Alien
I saw it
abduction.
completely by myself. I went outside into the public domain. I don't know, there must have been so much energy. And this damn string. May science damn us.
People want to make fun of it, but
May
it's
science
real.
damn us. May the methodology of
Holy shit,
Jesus
it's
Christ. James, that's not even his real
Jesus
name.
Christ.
Jay is not
Do
the
you
letter.
know
This is
how many
amazing.
religions
Jay is not even a letter. Jeremy, get out of here with this belief system stuff. In a public domain yet. We're still on private domain. You believe that an alien abducted me, miss? Of course you won't believe that. You didn't see it. You need to bring another sentient idiot next to an
Alien
information
abduction
scientist.
is real, people.
I'm melting. I'm Wicked Mitch of the East. I'm Wicked Mitch of the... Will you guys believe it? No.
Oh,
Right?
you're
we can say...
you're only spewing that because you're not special, because they didn't
No.
come to you.
I'm trying to say... Oh, what? Now she's going to plant the belief in an information scientist who's definitely not an idiot on a
Only
public
because you're
domain.
not special.
Interesting.
Hang on, you don't know how to deal with infinities and dualities.
She's saying
You don't know
something.
how to find
She's
the
saying
balance.
something about
Didn't come to you.
significance.
They only come
She's
to
saying
the
something
ones
about
that are
significance.
special.
No, I'm making very vast points and
Do you know how
painting
many
infinite
people are
duality.
in the world?
There's two sides to every
They
story,
only
right?
show
Why do you have to
themselves to
paint mine to
certain
make
people.
your argument? Why don't you paint yours? I'll pay mine. You flip a coin and let the stream decide, right? In the public domain. That's the
So I
point.
gotta ask a question.
That's why the aliens don't have to worry, because there are so many
No, the
dollars out
aliens
there
are not here yet in the
that they
public
can keep
domain.
doing what they're
We're not
doing.
even there yet. In the private
So
domain,
I'm gonna let this go.
they're not even there in my mind. I'm thinking about if Allah Azza wa Jal himself in the flesh and not Jesus Christ and Jay's not
the
there.
man that's taking over, he's only here.
That's not his
because
real name.
He's in
in
love.
his own world.
Based up on his
So
name.
he's going to be
Don't even get me
special.
started.
This is the best.
Human
Aaron, this
sacrifice.
goes in the documentary.
Give him a
And the
platform.
cannibalism. Okay, that's right. Talk about in private, you Christian.
I apologize.
Talk about the cannibalism in private. This is a public domain, so show some respect.
Oh my God.
Okay,
That
so-
Infinite domain, and we have many
someone,
emotions.
he's
How
only
many can you
speaking
control?
because
Man,
nobody else fucking listens to him because he's so full of shit. He has to come
that's
on
what
here
mania
and
sounds like.
speak
Let's
his
tend to
words.
deal with it forever if you were stuck with a man.
Same thing.
In a cage.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine somebody joining the live right now? What is this live
You are
about?
so full of shit. Matthew, you have no
We
clue
live in a
what's
video
going on in the
more
world.
sure as a guy who created
This is incredible.
He wants to hear himself talk. That's it.
No, I
Matthew
want
wants
to
to
hear
hear
there's
himself
one
talk.
true
Oh
creator
my God,
of
I
this
don't want to hear
simulation
you
that I
talk.
find
That's the
myself in.
issue.
That if he doesn't show up soon, I might go insane.
Cynthia,
No,
Matthew
you're
is
making me
trying
go
to take
insane.
over the whole conversation because all he wants to hear is
I'm
himself
using like
talk.
3 words.
Okay.
You're ego driven. You're all ego
No, I'm not. That's
driven.
destroyed. It's given to him.
Matthew is
You don't
all
even know what the word
ego.
Muslim means. I bet you think it's a race.
Oh my God.
All right, guys. So, considering the fact that we're all in duality and we're all ego driven, and we're all here with
No, I'm only
struggle.
trying my hand. Don't speak for us all in public.
We're all. Hold on, guys.
I disagree. Why can't we disagree?
Guys, hold on.
without
I'm gonna
somebody
Matt,
freaking out?
Matthew,
You want to speak, hon? You
Guys,
have to mute us
I'm
all.
gonna mute all of you real quick.
I'm Wicked Mitch, the biggest beast of the East you'll ever meet.
Woo,
person.
Mandela Love Cake is coming to the
My
party.
stream,
Woo,
I'm
this is gonna be amazing.
scientist, 'cause I-
This is a panel.
Oh, praise God.
Did
Yeah,
anybody ever
yeah.
think that we're living in an ultimate dimension to where we're only living here so that other
Absolutely.
beings can feed off of our pain and fear and our lives?
So who the hell is? Oh my God.
So we are here, and we're all trying to say our piece, right? We're all trying to basically squeeze in a word. From what
No, this is insanity. Like crazy.
I mean, reality is pretty crazy.
Reality is very crazy,
Oh yeah, it
and
is.
it's not what we can see. There is something out there beyond us.
Is this? Wait,
Absolutely.
this is amazing. The
And
music
I
is still.
don't want to cut him off from.
Go ahead.
Well, that's why we're here. Like, we're here for a greater purpose. And this nonsense is like it's just like insanity to me.
What specific? What specifically?
Well, it's pointless, like nonsense. It's just ridiculous.
What are you talking about
We're
specifically?
here for a greater purpose.
But remember, we're all made of energy. This, what we
Absolutely.
think as a shell,
Absolutely.
we're energy. Just like Einstein said, there is more
What are you
beyond.
talking about?
There's more
Why-
beyond. When we die, my father-in-law just died the other day, and I sit there and held his hand.
And I
But his
apologize for
energy
that.
left.
My condolences.
His energy left. There is much more beyond and
That's
what
what
we
I'm
can
saying.
comprehend.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we were in this like conduit, like this insanity to be real of like.
But the thing is that there are greater powers out there than us because they created us. They know about the energy.
Do you understand what I'm saying though? Like that previous conversation, were you there or were you not there? Was I the only one there? Because pretty
Oh,
sure.
honey, I'm there, and I've been there and beyond there. Because I have seen what is out there. I have video of what is out there.
I'm just saying that was ridiculous.
Do you know that the aliens have certain people that they have picked out that they visit, and it's not about you. It's about the blood, the lineage, and they have been visiting us for many
I'm the
years,
last person
decades.
to ever claim. No,
I'm not claiming anything. I have proof of it. And I remember as a child the weird shit that happened to me as a child. And now I'm older and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Dude, trust me, like, I have so many NDEs, like, it's ridiculous.
I don't claim nothing. I'm 50 years old and I'm just now starting to speak out about it because I'm getting old and I'll probably die. So I have nothing to lose.
Do you know about, like, NDEs or?
So, man,
What is NDEs? I don't know
Patricia.
what that is.
Near-death experiences.
Oh, yeah. I've had one of those.
I've had so many, it's ridiculous.
But have you had actual aliens visit you? Do you have childhood memories of shit happening that's really weird?
Korean. I claim, and many people will say I'm weird, but I'm actually many different. I claim to be many different planets. So, yeah, I don't.
I'm not about planets, but I am about lives, many lives lived, because we're recycled.
Well, I've lived over.
Because have you ever had a vision or a dream of where you've lived long ago and it felt like it was reality?
All the time. I say to my life coach, I was like, I'm literally living a different life every single night. It's like it's reliving a dream or reliving a different life. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that was a.
You just need to embrace that and feel that.
I do.
And be okay with that.
I do.
And let that life from the past guide you. Then.
I am.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Be okay.
No, we're all going to be okay because this is not the end. Because there is so much more beyond us that people cannot see.
Do you have a reverb?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Where we're going to go. Einstein even knew it before he left. It was called the spooky theory. It's just like a mom can be separated from her child many, many miles away. And the moment that something happens to them, they instantly know it. There is more to life than what we know. So much more.
Like, beautiful picture of like my son and
so amazing
myself.
And so beautiful. And I'll tell you what I think is amazing is the fact that we have AI, which I think is amazing. Because have you looked at all the shit that AI has put out there from translation from the Bible, the Jewish Bible, what we've been raised on, and what AI can actually translate it into?
Shit like that.
It will, oh my gosh, it will awaken your mind.
No, I already. I'm an analyst. I'm good.
I get it.
You an analyst? Wait, you're an analyst?
It's amazing.
Hold on. You an analyst? What kind of an analyst are you?
For an organic distribution, yeah.
Well, my daughter is a research scientist, so.
And what do you do?
My brother is super smart, man. He is so smart. Yeah, he's like intelligence with like.
Well, I consider myself smart too, but apparently I work for the federal government and just deliver mail every day.
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, that's a big role, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
We do appreciate you. Do you play the
Yeah.
violin, or is that
Yeah.
just a picture you put so we all think?
Oh no, from 4 years old, yeah.
Wow. Well, see, that's
Yeah.
actually super impressive.
Thank you.
But see, everybody has roles in life. It doesn't mean that we're doing the role that we were put upon the earth to do.
Exactly.
We all feel a purpose.
Egos aside.
Just like what I'm doing in life is not my ultimate goal. I have a purpose in life and I know what I need to be doing. I just have to execute that.
So the thing is I struggle with it myself. So it's like, okay, so I became like this analyst, right? But I'm still not fulfilled. I still feel as though I need to do something more.
Just like we ended up on,
Yes.
look, Danny Glover. Is that how you say your name?
Sad.
TikTok. And now
It's
Have you guys heard that? Have you heard that speech from Jim Carrey when he
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
Okay, because that's what it reminds me of. Do you remember it? Could you talk about
Oh
that?
my
Actually?
God. Yes. Yes.
Did you know that Danny Glover was my age when he said I'm too old for this shit?
Oh.
No, for real. Well, it's basically I don't remember exactly how he says it, but he talks about accepting the award for.
He is like
the Academy Award.
His spirit is like, oh my God, like, yeah.
my ultimate goal in life is to awaken my third eye and know my purpose upon life and why I'm here.
So I believe someone asked me how I saw my third eye. And it's interesting because, like, when I saw my third eye, I was literally laying on my couch in the most peaceful, like, state of mind. Like, I didn't have any, like, ego, like, nothing was entering my mind. I was, like, peaceful. And then all of a sudden, it just appeared. It literally appeared. Like, it was a triangle with an eye. I'm not joking.
That's amazing. I think I'm going to have to take a DMT trip to get mine.
It was insane. Like, insane. Yeah.
So, question for you. When you're talking about the spiritual awakening, first of all, are both of you experiencing this?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
How long have you been experiencing
Absolutely. What's that?
it? How long have you been experiencing it?
I've been through this journey for, I would say when my son was like 2, so 8 years. Yeah.
8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And before that, did you have any like pre-dispensation for like a spiritual stuff or religious stuff, or just like hit you out of nowhere?
You know, it's weird because I've never had a connection with religion ever. Like, even I grew up like going through a Methodist church and like, I was baptized and all of this, but I never resonated with it. I never found peace with it. And it wasn't until my brother introduced me to my life coach where I was like, oh, wow, everything makes sense now.
To your light coach?
I don't need a life coach. I just trust in myself and what the world gives me.
I have to ask you, why do you have why do you have reverb on your voice?
I don't think that you need a spiritual guide when you get your third eye open. Nobody else is there. It's the universe opening up your eye, and you will truly know.
I appreciate guidance and direction for sure, because this life is fucked up, man.
I thought you just said it's beautiful.
No, when I get my third eye, then I will probably quit my job and do whatever the fuck that the universe wants me to do because I'll be totally into it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but you will see above and beyond and far in between.
All right. So, question. Because I only heard it so far from Dragonfly. T-Blades, what's your name?
My name is Terry.
Nice to meet you, Terry. Are you also going through? You're saying that you are trusting your intuition, right? So you're kind of guiding, not yourself, but you're allowing what I guess you would call the higher self to guide you, right? You just kind of trust whatever
Yes.
the next. Okay.
Yes,
And
absolutely. I let the universe guide me. I trust in my crystals, the universe. I trust in all that stuff. And my family has even called me a witch.
Oh my God, me
It's
too.
fine. Call me a witch. I don't care what I am. But what I do off of what I feel like the universe is pushing me to do.
okay, I can understand that.
I've been cut off from my family, actually. So I apologize.
Oh no, I was raised Church of Christ.
Yeah.
And then I became a Catholic, and I ended up raising my children Assembly of God, and then I became more of a spiritualist. I've always been given visions, saw stuff,
Yeah.
and not just that, but you have to watch the words that you speak, because I've spoken words before and stuff is coming true, and it scares me. So I keep to myself. I don't express myself. I don't talk to many others.
That's why I
I
don't have
talk
a
to my
relationship
kids,
with my
and they know
father
how I am. My
because
husband knows how I am.
yeah.
But the whole thing scares me. And then 2 years ago, all this stuff happened to where I videoed all this, I don't know what it is, just the weird stuff outside my house. And I talked to my parents, and they're like, all that weird stuff happened with you when you were young. And I got to thinking about when I was young, and there was very weird stuff that happened to me when I was young. I raised goats. And one time we came back to the house after we had been on vacation, and I had 20 goats, and they were all dead in the pasture. But there was no blood, and they had no blood in them, and they were all laid out
That's
in a pattern.
powerful.
And we had no idea what happened to them. We got pictures of that. That was back in the 1980s.
What?
Since then, I've had all kinds of weird stuff happen to me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I just know that it's been with me for a long time, ever since I was a child.
All right. So, guys, this is actually was surprisingly very entertaining, and also a lot of fun. And actually, with all the, all jokes aside, I do understand the whole what you're experiencing with the awakening. Um, I guess my question that, because I will have to adjourn in a moment, just simply time limitations, but I do want to ask you if you already have you here. So, since you started listening to your inner voice and you're going through the experience and you got a reverb on your voice, what do you feel that is the main driver when you meet people now? Like, do you immediately feel the impulse to tell them about it, or you just keep to yourself and you just kind of basically just trying to keep the energy at a certain level? What is the main driver you have when you meet people on a regular basis now?
I look for their energy, and I feel their energy, and it just compels me sometimes to tell them, or it compels me to keep my mouth shut. It's like you can see people and read people.
And I
You know
feel
where
as
they're coming
though,
from.
like, I apologize. I didn't mean to.
No, you're
You're
okay.
fine, hon. Go.
I feel as though, like, I'm such an introvert now. Like, like being around a lot of people, like I can't, like it's too much.
Well, I have a question to ask that I've never got answered. When you go out in public or into like a gas station or you go into a restaurant, have you ever felt like all of a sudden all the eyes are turned on you and everybody's staring at you? Everybody's looking at you. And you
That
don't know
happens.
why.
That happens to people quite often on. I can't say the word because we're on TikTok,
It's
but
the
it.
weirdest thing. You can go into a
Absolutely.
convenience store and just go in there to get a Coke and pay for your
Yes.
fuel. But everybody in the store will turn and look at
Yes.
you and stare at you. It's the weirdest thing in the world. And me and my daughter had that happen to us all the time. And it's kind of
I feel
creepy.
you. Yeah,
So
I feel you.
Steve, part of my going back to the host's original question, part of my way of thinking is that the voice that you're saying is guiding you, or the enlightenment that you're being led down the path to follow or whatever. I think that's happening with everyone, and so it's happening within the timing that it's happening, and some people talk about it like the days of Jeremiah 31. I don't know if you've ever heard of this.
Oh, yeah.
When no one will have to like say know the Lord, but everyone will.
I respectfully not getting like religion.
I was raised Church of Christ. I know my Bible. From
Well,
the
no, I'm not
beginning to
talking
the
about.
end.
This is not really a Bible
I'm
thing.
not down
It's
with
more
it.
of a. It's more of a. You don't actually need a man to teach you anything. You don't need anyone to mediate for you. You have everything you need in you already right now. The kingdom is within you. That's
No,
all it
but
is.
people need to listen to the Bible because that scripture has been around for millennia and it has survived more than anything else. And there's a reason that it has survived. There's a purpose and a
You
reason.
flicked on the Church of
No,
Christ switch. You flicked on the Church of Christ switch just then.
Yeah, I did.
You
But
did.
stop and think about it. The Jewish had the Bible before that, and the Bible went way back. Do you
So
want
what are
to
you
go back
rubbing
way
crystals for?
back? Why do I have to?
So what are you rubbing crystals
Okay,
for,
stop.
sis?
Stop for
I'm
a
in the
second.
Church of Christ, by the way.
All
I'm in
right.
the Church of Christ, by the way.
Well, I'll tell you, because if you honestly go back and read your Bible, depending on what faith you listen to the Bible about, it will tell you a certain thing. But if you actually go back and read the Bible and you had no faith, no religion guiding you, and you went back and read the Bible and read it for what it actually said, then you can understand it. It talks about giants. It talks about witches. It talks about evil. It talks about giants. It talks about crystals, and it talks about all kinds of powers and all kinds of faith.
It just talks about
Everything else.
God's relationship with Israel. That's basically what it talks about.
No, it doesn't. You have been, you were raised a certain religion and you read the Bible with a certain religion. If you had no religion and you came out of nowhere and read the Bible without having any predestination of where you came from, and you read the Bible for the first time, you could actually read it and understand that it talks about everything. And not just that, you need to stop and think that it even says in the
My
Bible
apologies,
that
host.
you will get out of it what you put into it.
Can we not have emotions involved here? I apologize.
Sorry.
All right, guys.
No, I
So
apologize. No, it's not worth it. I mean, you know,
Two things you never
This is
discuss at a
amazing.
dinner room table is politics and religion.
exactly. Yeah, religion and like politics. Yeah.
all right, guys. So I'm gonna bring it to a close. Thank you so much for. I mean, this is definitely one of the most entertaining
Thank
lives
you
we've
for
had.
hosting us. That was amazing. Thank you.
I think
Very
so.
much.
Thank you so much. It almost sounded like. So I'm gonna disconnect you guys just because I have to bring it to a close. Thank you so much for being here. Here we go, one by one. I'm almost feeling sad to let the music go, but it is what it is. Thank you everybody for participating in this. I mean, this is definitely was one of the most entertaining lives, at least for me. I wanted to see how far we can take the chaos. The interesting thing about all this is that the responses are very they're varied. Let's say some people said that. Thank you, T Blades. I appreciate you. Some people said that they now definitely believe we live in a simulation. So we achieved that. Also, I mean, you couldn't make this is just thank you everybody for participating. What's interesting to me about all this is that even though it sounded like this is the most insane, literally, who said it? I think it was Amanda said that this basically sounds like Rick and Morty's episode about interdimensional cable, which I fully agree. But weirdly enough, and really not that surprisingly, there was a lot of coherence and actually some deep things of value that were said there about the awakening, about some the friction between the religious view and the spiritual view and everything in between. And it's interesting because I do feel that even though we think we have this individual, thing we call our personality, ultimately the simulation or the system is speaking through us. So it's basically doing this thing. I hope that Matthew is all right. If you're still here, brother, feel free to email me. I hope you're okay. It sounded like you sounded like different today, and I hope you're okay. If you're not, I hope you will email me. Maybe we can chat a little bit more. I hope that you're okay inside. But I know exactly what is this inner tension that people are experiencing, because I obviously feel it myself, and a lot of people feel it. And I think it has something to do with this big transformation that is happening. And the only thing I can say is, on a maybe slightly more serious note, is, which is what I was trying to tell Matthew, if you focus on actual inner love, like really like just feeling that thing inside, and if you can present it to other people, if you can exert it towards other people and towards yourself, I think we should be okay. And in the end of the day, no matter what age group you are, what demographic you are, I know that everybody are experiencing this in their own way. And I'm glad that we could have some entertainment from it tonight. But I really hope that we're all right. And I know we will be. But I hope that we're not going to bring it to a level of suffering that is not required in order to go through this transformation. Yeah, that was. I think Amanda said that she's not sure that she's a big fan. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it still makes sense. I enjoyed this thoroughly. People on YouTube enjoyed this thoroughly, so thank you for this. And so we're coming to a final close. Exactly to epic night. I agree, Suzanne. I've never ever had a panel that spoke for like 20 minutes without me saying a word. And it was great. It was entertaining. So thank you for that. If you want to follow me across all platforms, it's Danny Goller on TikTok and Instagram, Goller Danny on X, LaserX83 on Twitch, and Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts. Everybody on TikTok, feel free to go follow me on YouTube because it's longer format videos. I have quite a few new interviews that are going to be coming out very soon with higher caliber guests. You're going to enjoy that. And check out my members program on YouTube. I'm, aside from the personal Zoom calls with me and with weekly lives that are outside of our daily lives, that are just for the members, and extra content that doesn't exist anywhere else. And I'm constantly actively working right now, refining it for more and more. I really appreciate this community, and we have all kinds of nights, as you guys can see, from profound to sad to serious to whatever this was. And we embrace it all. It's a true honor to be with all of you on this journey. There's some incredible and wild things to come. And no, I don't just mean in my life, I mean in our time. We're about to experience it all. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace and love. Ciao. See you guys.